If you know, you know. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the boat. And I know what you're thinking, why is he leaning like that? Why has he got his hand on there? Well, the reason being, I've already done what this video is all about, and it is behind my hand. But we'll get to that in a moment. But if you saw my previous video, I'd done all the electrics behind this panel, and I was ready to then start adding other bits and pieces, other goodies, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Spitting a bit, but I do believe that the canal looks a little bit cleaner. Now I have just spoken to the guy who owns the marina, and he said the weed on the canal is the worst it's been for quite some years. He thinks it's due to obviously the warm weather, and also just past that boat there was a breach in the canal, and there was a lot of work needed to be done, so the canal was closed there, so no boats were allowed to go past this point. So this section of the canal wasn't being used, so it's the boats going up and down the canal that keep the weed down, because the propellers sort of chop the weed below the waterline and keep it trimmed, and that wasn't happening, so that's why the weeds built up a bit. Apparently there is a machine north of here, further down, that's been clearing the weed, because that's where the main sort of intake is for the water into the canal, and that is a lot clearer apparently. Also, I've been speaking about this mooring here with him, and the guys who were in this mooring are just on the hard standing, having some work done, and apparently there's a waiting list for this particular mooring for the reasons I discussed in the previous video. So looks like I'm stopping here, but that's fine, I don't mind it here. At least I know the LEDs work. I've just connected temporarily a voltmeter on there, LED voltmeter. I haven't put the fuse in, just turned the power on and the red lights come on. So yeah, good, we know that works. Right, let's pop a fuse in there and see if we can get a display on there. As you may have already noticed, there is an inline quick blow fuse there which protects all this. I'm going to deal with that slightly better than what that currently is if I decide to use this LED meter. But I've just popped a 5 amp fuse in there, so we'll stick the power on and see if we get a reading. Right, the error indicator light's gone out, and oh look at that, 12.7 volts. That's a really nice blue display, that you can't really tell on the camera, but yeah, I really like that. And I have got a switch there, so that won't be on all the time. I can just flick the switch just to check the voltage on the battery, on the crank battery. Right, I might then incorporate that into the front panel. So I've now got the LED display connected up. It's not completely finished, it is a little bit of a temporary measure, but basically we've got a live feed coming in through a 5 amp fuse, through a connector, so I can disconnect this because it's going to be attached to the panel. So when I take the panel off, I want to be able to disconnect the panel from the from this bit. So I've got inline connector there that I can break. It comes in to the switch. That bit of heat shrink there is that quick blow fuse in there. I may come up with a more user-friendly solution for that, because if that blows, I've got to take the heat shrink off, got to desolder the fuse, blah blah blah. So I might come up with something for that if it ever blows. And then it goes out of the switch into the LED display, out of the LED display the other side, and back through another connector to the negative buzz bar. I've not brought my heat gun with me today, so I've got the heat shrink on, but I've not shrunk that down yet, so that's something I need to do. We are connected, we are switched on at the battery, so if we now switch this on with the switch, like I say, on camera that doesn't show very well, but I think you can just make out that that says 12.7 volts. So yeah, battery's okay. We can switch that off now, and that'll be up on the control panel, or on the, sorry, this panel, the faceplate panel, somewhere up there. So that is the next job, fitting that in. Right, as they say in France, we've vettled it. So display is now mounted to the panel. I had to think about where I was going to put it. I've put a mark across there because that is a no-go area, because that's where the bulkhead sort of tucks under. Here might be where I have some extra instruments on the helm panel, so they might be sticking out the back, so I don't want to be impeding on those. And it leaves all that free for putting shelving, hooks, other kind of things. So I thought, right, let's put all the sort of this kind of thing down near the bottom, which is where the actual fuse board is and everything. So yeah, there it is, and there it is, 12.7 volts still. So I can now check on the voltage of the battery and then just flick that off. The more I keep looking at that, the more I keep thinking, should I stain that the same as that to tie in? On that side we've gone carpeted, but it's only a little bit, it's not like a full panel. Should I stain that to match? Answers on a postcard. I haven't heard that for a few years. Yeah, leave a comment down below. Should I stain that the same as this, or should I carpet it to match that? What do you think? So there you go, that's the 12 volt LED display in situ, all up and running. I'm really pleased with it. It's going to be a handy little addition to the panel. So it wasn't a very long video today, but it was something I've been wanting to do, and it's all in and working, so really happy with that. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below. If you enjoyed that video, please give us a thumbs up, please subscribe, and don't forget to click on that bell icon so you don't miss out on my next video. You know when it is, every Thursday 7 PM. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. I've just dropped a wing nut. It's gone down the back of the chair, back of the seating. I thought, right, just take the thing off, it'll just drop down there. No, 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 no. It's dropped down there. Can I get to that? I don't know. But I do have this screwdriver here, which has a magnet in the end, telescopic, so I'm going to see if I can fish it out. Ugh. There we go. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, I heard a click then. First attempt. Look at that. Hey!